right, welcome everyone. It is March the 8th, 2024, and we're still within the high heart chakra. We are studying the universal law of transmutation and dissipation. And let me just get some of these. There we go. One more step here. There we go. Okay, there's our title page. We're at part 7. And yeah, we've been doing this for 7 classes. That's amazing. But there is a lot to learn in this one, a lot to anchor in. So prudence we studied with St. Bernadette, the 8th dimension with Albert, but we're really going to be looking at the law again and just figuring out what it is exactly. And this is a reminder about the I am, to uncontract I'm to I am whenever you're speaking. If you remember, it's these words are very powerful. And as the Pleiadians here said in this March 4th message, it anchors the truth and naturally pulses out. The words automatically radiate out your unique heart pulse throughout the entire universal arena. So again, we've kind of, we're not realizing how powerful we are and how important it is to stay in the middle in divine alignment, because we're transmitting all the time. So, but I've got a couple of techniques to help with that. So this is a reminder to breathe the clarity, because if ever you're feeling discombobulated, just come right into the middle and breathe the mother's clarity. It is astonishing how much energy comes in with it, and the confusion can dissipate quite rapidly just breathing blue. It is so powerful. It's really being in the flow of understanding forgiveness of everything, trusting that everything is in divine order. It's hope, which is perfect balance of the mother, the father, the one. It's peace, it's serenity, it's so much, and it's so powerful and very much connected to your throat, the blue of the throat chakra. And it's believing that everything is in order, basically, in divine order. And within that is Michael's mission of peace, which is blue. It's just time for the divine feminine energy to rise in everyone, the blue to rise in everyone, to create that peace. We cannot have peace on earth until a great many of us understand the inner work, because it's as within, so without. And recently, 2 YouTubes came to me, one about sound and one about magnetism. The sound one was with Michael Tellinger, and the other one was Manly P somebody or other. I don't know.
Hall.
What's the name?
Manly P. Hall.
Yes. Oh my God.
No.
Brilliant. I just watched it before we got on here. Is anybody interested in me sending them along? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that, please.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
Steve, let me know if you want them on Golden Age of Gaia too. Because yeah, they're brilliant. I'm a Manly P. Hall. How old is he? He's not even alive anymore, is he?
Old.
No.
Yeah.
Very old. Very
Yeah.
old. All the
Oh
old
my God.
timers in the group remember him.
Oh my gosh, he's so wise. He is talking, like it sounds like SK is talking through him, but with slightly different language.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, anyways, peace on earth. So that's us anchoring peace within ourselves, really feeling it for it to transpire on the outer. So as within, so without. Okay, so here we are in the high heart, and this is the 8th dimension. So this is a really important dimension of creation, manipulating energy in the most positive of ways, fuel of love into form. And this is where we learn it. And sometimes, like Albert says, we can go through this dimension over and over until we anchor it in. But what it is anchoring in our self-love and self-worth, every thought, every action in alignment. And so this is why the breathing comes in with Albert's really simple technique. Okay. And so this is a healing dimension. Healing is all about love, and it's all about self-worth, understanding our self-worth and self-love. bringing ourselves back to the original purity. And we can do that by invoking this law of transmutation and dissipation. And if you want a real double whammy, use prudence in there, because prudence is all about balance. So I put the scales of balance into this chakra, so you can just stare at that and just know that's what this chakra is all about. It's the Divine Father understanding of gratitude, but it's also combined with clarity, because even though the blue isn't in this chakra, the mother introduced clarity in this teaching. This was the one when she brought it forth. So in every chakra, there's understandings of the mother and the father to create the balance, the blue and the yellow to create the love balance in the center. And loving your neighbor is a good one. If you're having any struggles with any of your neighbors, is a good indication that there's some struggle inside of us, and just keep asking, what is it? What is it? And you can even invoke or neighbors, relatives, close family, friends, anyone we're having little issues with. It's good to just ask within, ask your guides, is this a mirror? Is this something that I'm being shown for myself? And yeah, okay. And also you can use the law of transmutation and dissipation for any situation you're struggling with. Just put it like a little miniature situation in your hands and invoke. And then just allow the other side to show you what's going on. And they will show us. This is remembering. So I brought the scales right down into the physical form. See how they're right there in the bone structure of the human form? So this is us remembering. Think of your skeleton, the bone structure, as being the framework of the law. So we're embodying the universal laws. And Manly, what's his name, Steve? Manly P. Hall?
Yeah.
Yeah, Manly P. Hall. He talks about that. He talks about it as integrity. It's very cool how he words it. Okay. When you act in this way, then you know that what is within you as the law is also without. But it's us being conscious. Because if we're walking around and not really conscious of it, it doesn't manifest. It's the conscious, it's really us anchoring it in consciously that we are embodying the laws. Okay, so now this is just a reminder that within the physical form, we do have the skeleton, but we also have the flow of blood, the lymph, the air that goes in and out of the lungs. There's no accident that the lungs are connected to this, and that's why I'm talking about breathing. Okay, so this is the review of how to use the law. You just cup your hands. It's very simple. As if you're creating a miniature situation in your hands. Think water, think clarity of the mother. And then you've got your hands in alignment with your core, basically in the seat of your soul, because we're doing this out of love. And then you invoke. And I think everything is pretty much connected to these 6 little words: war, poverty, hunger, health, relationships, planet. Because it all comes down to belief systems, basically, that we're transmuting. Core issues, the false grids. You know the list. Okay. So here's another little review. You do the invocation. I invoke, and you can invoke any master, the mother, an archangel. They will show up, or even just a law. There is so much energy around these laws and blessings and virtues, divine qualities, or a dimension. You can invoke the whole system. We were taught to invoke all the laws, all the divine qualities, and the 12 dimensions when you didn't know which one to invoke. So you can do that too. But with this one, it's very specific. So we're doing cleanup. Yeah, Darren?
Would you invoke all the laws at one time, or
Yeah, you
just,
can.
yeah?
When you don't know which one to invoke, absolutely.
Okay.
But for what we're using this one for, it's a cleanup, basically, of relationships. This is a really good one because it's very direct. And it's always done with love. Yes, Steve.
Another way of invoking the law generally is to invoke the law of love.
Yep, because that's another name for them. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, the laws, I would do the laws of love because I think that's what they're called, aren't they? The laws of love. Yeah. Yep, Darren.
Could you invoke Raj instead?
Any nickname, they show up for whatever. You don't even have to know their name. Our guides will know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything goes through the guides. Not a thought is not heard. Like everything is heard. Like the Divine Mother says, every prayer is heard. And if for some reason they're too busy, the guides will make sure that they hear. So you are never, ever, ever alone. And that's how important it is to keep our thoughts in alignment, in integrity. Okay, so we hold the creation and we simply allow as if we are the master observer. So that's why I put this is us in our mastery, all the chakras in alignment. That's why this little image, grounded to Gaia, connected to source. I put this image in all the time because it's reminding us we're connected above and below and we are masters. And we understand everything that I'm talking about. We all know. We all know. I'm just a little bit of a memory jogger. My mission to memory jog everyone, but everybody knows all this. So yes, Kent.
Well, I was thinking about what you said about being conscious, and actually, if I understand this correctly, we're supposed to be conscious all the time, and that that's how we become masters, I think.
Yes, and for peace to transpire on the planet. Because we're always saying we want peace, but it's really up to us individually. And then that enough of us get it that it's like the whole field changes. Yeah, Steve.
I illustrate being conscious all the time and the benefit of that. I was walking, doing some errands today, and I had a bad thought about a person. And because I follow the awareness path, I'm constantly aware of myself, right? So I had a bad thought about a person and I immediately felt bad, right?
Yeah.
The first time in my life I saw the causal connection. And so, yeah, no, I noticed that with my bad thoughts, I create myself feeling bad.
Yep, and then we attract things to us.
Yeah, and then we create a story around it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so that is like a life review, what you just experienced. So when people have, mini life review. And so us doing the processing work, we are literally doing the work that you would normally do when you pass over. And that's why there's been so many near-death experiences. People go and they'll come back and say, this is what happened. And this is actually what we're doing right here, right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the processing is a type of mini review until we get clear. And so invoking these laws is really helpful because it will drive up what's not working. For yet another mini review. Yeah.
So that's really going to speed up ascension, isn't it?
Sure, that is ascension.
That is ascension.
Yeah, just a mini one. I mean, you got to put them all together to have the big one, right?
No. Well, as far as the way I feel ascension is it's a very long, slow process because if it was a grand awakening all at once, we wouldn't understand all how to do this. We're learning to be masters. This is how we're teaching ourselves to be masters, or remembering that we are masters. So if the mother just waved a magic wand, we wouldn't have the benefit of all this learning.
No, I agree. We have to do it step by step for sure.
Yeah, and then we're going to be able to explain it to the next planet that needs help. Yeah, we are the guinea pigs. No, Saint Germain was the guinea pig. I mean, eventually, like, he lived his last life. He just kept living. He was hundreds of years old. He kept popping up in different centuries. Yeah. And so he had ascended. I mean, we were told he ascended in Atlantis, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, he was the groundbreaker. Okay, so yeah, we're learning to master being the observer. So you're putting the situation that may initially have bothered you within, we're pulling it outside of yourself and mastering being the observer here. See how the situation is now outside of us? We're mastering being the observer, which is what Jesus talked a lot about. He had a beautiful post through Pamela Cribby about being the observer.
The third way. Is that the one you're referring to?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
It's excellent. If you ever have a chance to read that, The Third Way.
Oh, I should dig it up and I'll send it with the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Please. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I'll make myself a note. Okay. Okay. So then. Okay. So what are we actually doing when we are transmuting? It's very simple when it comes down to it. And there's a key here, being in gratitude. Being in is connected to dissipation, gratitude connected to transmutation. And this little statement came from Saint Francis in the heart chakra. And he was explaining charity to us. And it is one of the most powerful. It's up there with I am. Just being in gratitude. Because when you're in that state of being, you are right in the middle. And you can be gratitude for everything, no matter what is happening, from war to, I don't know, anything. Gratitude dissolves how we feel. Yeah, Darren.
Yeah, gratitude gives you peace.
Yeah. And it's it does. And then it also helps us understand the being in, which is forgiveness too. So gratitude, there's a step to getting to peace, but yeah, it is very much connected. Both of these are connected to joy and peace. Okay, now let me go here. So the golden energy of the transmutation. So you're holding it outside of yourself. If you can get to the state while you're looking at it of being in gratitude, it will dissolve. It'll dissolve. From illness to any issues you have around people. It's extraordinary. And then the blue, dissipation, connected to clarity, connected, and you just listen as you're listening. What is the blue? What am I doing here? Ask for clarity. The information will come through, and it's really simple. It's us being in a state of forgiving everything, like a near-death experience. This law, transmutation and dissipation, is like having a near-death experience. It's a mini one. And in that is perfect healing, because people that have near-death experiences come back and they're like, what are we doing? Why isn't everybody loving each other? That's healing. Loving the journey, loving every issue that we have, loving everyone around us. You can feel the love, you're flowing the love. It's like, just like, it's a totally different, that's ascension, basically. So, and this is where I am comes in. You can say, I am gratitude for whatever the issue is, it will dissolve. And I am forgiveness. So that's looking at the Ukraine-Russian war and being gratitude that it's You can make it up. It's on the surface. For the old energy to be resolved. For the leaders to come to peace if they possibly could. You know, there's so many things to be gratitude for poverty, for hunger. Like, okay, we've got all this hunger issue in Canada right now. Millions of people accessing the food bank. Do you think we're going to have a change of government and something happen to, like, from chaos comes change. So we've got to be in the forgiveness of it, forgiveness of the self for helping to create all of this, because we all anchored in these belief systems in hundreds of lifetimes. So we're all responsible. Now it's time to be responsible for forgiving the past, being gratitude for where we're at, and being the love and flowing the love everywhere we go. So eye contact with everyone, smiling, being the love out in the world, not only within. Easy to do it when we're in our apartments. A little harder when you're getting cut off in traffic. But that's the place to practice it. Oh, look at that fellow cutting me off. Okay. Good thing I was conscious enough to get out of the way. I had someone almost drive right into me today, like a big, huge pickup truck. And I was like, "Eep," and I just was like, whoa, who did that? Somebody like got me out of the way. It was like amazing. So yeah, so then you're in the flow and you know you're protected. That's the whole thing, because your guides are always with you. That is the blue as well. Knowing that to trust, to be in faith, that you are protected and that you're in the flow of the mother's clarity. Okay. So now this is the conscious breathing that I was talking about from Albert. So he has these two beautiful posts talking about the patterning of the universe. And in them, he talks about the power of the breath, conscious breathing. And literally what we're inhaling, if we can be conscious, and I was practicing this today, the energy, the love, the divine pattern of the mother. So you just know that the patterning of the mother is all around us. It's in the air. It's in the moisture. It's in the light. It's in all of nature. It is all around us. Think of that talking fish that sprang out of the water and said, "Where's the water? I don't know where the water is." Just think that God and love is in the air and it's all around us. We're always breathing it. And that is the patterning of the Divine Mother, the divine patterning of the Mother, of the Father, of the One. And then if we can remember on the exhale, you're breathing out the Mother, Father, love. So that's the oneness, your expression of divinity, the essence of who you are. And then Albert even goes on, this gets a little bit more complicated. Unity, concerted knowing, wisdom, love, the creation of the mother's pattern. So, but it's just breathing love in and out. And that's how we create a planet of love. And that is the restoration of the universal plan. So it's just inhaling the love, the divine pattern of the mother, and exhaling it, basically. And through the light and the water energy, combining the two, which creates love, we create a planet of love. So the conscious breathing is amazing. And it's really truth. And the lungs are kind of a pinky gray color. That is the color of truth. So our lungs in the physical form are actually the color of truth. Truth is silver, but with tinges of pink. So the truth of love, we are breathing the truth of love in and out, in and out. When we hold on to resentment for the past, it just ties us up in knots. We want to be in this flow, being in gratitude, restoring the original plan, creating with the breath. And that's how powerful the breath is, because the breath goes farther, way farther than we realize. So that's it there. So this is just remembering what the transmutation and the dissipation is. So the gold is our knowing, the Father, transmutation, gratitude, self-worth. Think divine alignment, think balance, think the sunlight. And then the blue is sitting in the stillness and the flow, the mother, clarity, peace, hope, faith, trust, forgiveness, remembering. And the healing comes when you combine the blue and the yellow. And that is what creates nature. Nature comes from water and sunlight in its basic form. The green in nature. Yeah, that's remembering that's nature's always reflecting back to us our wholeness, our perfection. That's why this planet is so beautiful. The nature here is so beautiful because we've been on such a long journey into what doesn't work. And I'm sure the mother wanted us to be immersed in the nature, reminding us all the time, you are whole, you are perfect. Remember, remember, let go of the belief systems. Yes, Darren.
And that's why this is a water planet, to bring out that beauty and get us touching with that love and love of the mother's energy, basically.
Yeah, there's more water on the planet than anything else, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that is the mother. That is the divine mother. And you're not even like thinking about the water in the air.
Yeah.
The air is filled with water. Nature's filled with water. Yeah.
And we are 70% water too.
So, and that's so how important it is to when we're drinking our water or drinking any kind of liquid to be blessing it and I put water on my counter with crystals in it just to bring it back to its purity. And whenever I'm like getting the water in the jugs, I'm always blessing it and thanking the mother. And you can call in Saint Bernadette too, because she's very connected to the water, to bless the water. And then that blessed water goes into us. Yeah, it's all good. Bless, bless, bless. Yeah, and so this is just reminding us that the energy runs like a crossover, one side of the mind to the opposite side of the body. So it's like it's like anchoring in gender equality. And this, don't forget the hands-on healing where you've got your hands on your shoulders and crossed across your body. That's to remind us we are the mother and the father. It's a beautiful hands-on healing. If you're feeling discombobulated, just do that.
This also reminds me of Happy Women's Day.
Yes. And today is International Women's Day. Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, we've come a long way. We've still got a little ways to go. We've got to get the divine feminine risen in everyone. So we have peace here. Yeah. So I put the skeleton behind, just to remember the laws are anchored into us. And there's the water, gratitude. And once we're really in that balance, it's easier to be out with everyone on the planet because it's almost like an automatic. We're more prone to be more with the people, spreading the good news. Oh, okay, there's the skeleton structure. Okay, so this law is a way for us to change old ways of being, old energy, not of love situations, back to the original purity. So there's the kernel of mostly everything is love. Okay, and this is how he describes it. It's a cleanup law, reconstruction, beautification of the community law, bringing back the original grace and beauty, the balance, the intentions not only of Gaia, but our own sacred self. So you can do this law for yourself if you want. You can put yourself, I've done that. I put myself in my hands. If you're really confused about something, just invoke this law, transmutation and dissipation for yourself and clarity. And oh my gosh, it's a good way to peel away, scrub, clean up, find our own treasure buried beneath the debris. But do it with a sense of humor, because some of it can be it's better to be laughing. But I mean, if you need to cry, that's good too. Crying is good. Anyways, so we look at the wonder and the creativity, the love that you brought to that original intention. That intention that was in alignment with the mother's plan and your plan. As you look at it, call upon the energy of clarity of the Divine Mother and the 13 blessings and virtues. Because when we remember them, that brings us right into alignment. Yes, Ken.
Okay, so I just got this image of God being the coach and we're the players.
Yeah. Yes. We are. We volunteered to come and play in this arena. What were we thinking? Yeah, but there has been a lot of fun, and there's been a lot of like, whoa, this is really hard, but there's been a lot of fun too. Leanne, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, not directly to what you're saying right now, but maybe something you said before. I have been noticing just through talking to many different people and just different groups I'm in, that I'm seeing a lot more community building, and a lot more, like I'll give you an example. There's my realtor. She used to work for Remax, and now her and I don't know how many people have left Remax. So that's the big corporate organization, and they're creating a small, something that's obviously better for everyone, the people that are working there and probably their clients. So there's a lot of positive things that I'm seeing in just different places where I don't expect them, like that there's a conversation I'll be having and someone will say something and I'm like, oh, great, you're seeing that, or you're understanding, so it's really hopeful.
Good. I'm so glad you're saying that, because I get it all the time when people come to me for readings and they've got these mini projects they're working on. I'm like, yes, go.
Yeah, right.
That is so exciting. It's like we're the cheerleaders sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, and just and that you can see it, and sometimes it's quite subtle, but yeah, it's happening all around us. So it's very exciting. Yes, good. Thank you for saying that. Truth is clarity. So the more we're anchored in the mother's clarity, the more we can actually see some of the things that are going on almost behind the scenes, because there's so much happening here, but that's not in the news, and it's on a very subtle grassroots level. And it's young people are a big force, mighty force I'm seeing. And then, but also it's floating into everyone. People are waking up and, they don't want their job anymore. They want to do something different. I get that a lot. So that's fun to see. So, and it says here, and ask her as you begin to infuse your being with this clarity, to show you intuitively in a flash. So you can ask for the flash or the knowing, which, can be overnight or a little bit longer. It's like the aha over a period of time. And it matters not, but you can ask about your next steps in bringing forth your intention, or if you see somebody else's intention, you can ask just subtly in your mind. But the idea is to transmute what's not working back to original purity. And SK did say we can work on bigger events. Like if you really wanted to work, like if the war in Ukraine and Russia is really bugging you, you can transmute it. Just know that it might bring it back to situation in the family, because it's like, it's the micro and the macro. So if we're really concerned about something in the big picture, it usually means there's something closer to us that's bugging us too. So I noticed that around addiction. I used to be really concerned about the opioid crisis. Then I realized, oh, it's my own addiction to pain. That's why I'm so concerned about the big picture. So if we're concerned about the big picture, it's usually something in the little picture. And then this is the clarity. What are the next steps for you, unique to you? Breathe, and with this knowing, and also with the knowing that these steps and this clarity will continue to unfold. So it's not something that's like, you know, all the answers all at once. It's like our purpose. It's always unfolding. And then, okay, so now this is Raj at the end of this law saying the one thing that I have not said, and it is important, this is about destruction, but I've used the term very specifically about cleanup and reconstruction. So it's like what Leanne just said about the women moving away from the big overarching real estate company into building a new smaller one in a slightly different way. So reconstruction. As you are clearing away, and let us use again the analogy, the buried treasure, as you are cleaning off the barnacles, so this is us forgiving everything, cleaning off the mud and the sludge and the tarnish, you are loving it. So it is not with disdain ever. So there, the disdain is the resentment. We don't want to feel that. If you find yourself feeling resentment about anything, try and catch it and change it to gratitude or forgiveness. You know, use a divine quality on it, because it usually means we're holding an old belief system. You are doing it because you're uncovering a precious treasure that is either you, it mostly comes back to us, or a nation, or a belief system, or a collective. As I'm just reminding us, be in gratitude. So you are loving the barnacles. You are loving the mud because it has protected what was so precious and important to you. And this is finding the gratitude for it. Like, oh, I learned so much, or, you know, whatever. It's a if you can find gratitude for something you feel resentment for, you're there. Now is the time for the treasure to reemerge, and for the treasure to reemerge in the purity of its space. So Albert Einstein has always put time and space together, those two words, and I always make them green, because there is no time in the higher realms, and it is all about love, and love is green. So space, think of it as the purity of its love, or, you know, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So say you brought up a beautiful ruby and it has been covered in all of this, but you know what lies within. So you reach down to the ruby after you've removed the barnacles, the sludge, the crustaceans, the weeds, etc. Now the ruby is looking pretty grim. It is dull. It looks like a stone you would pick up on the edge of a gravel pit, but you know that it is a ruby because you know the original intent, which was always love, always wholeness, always fulfillment. So pretty much everything here is here for the ascension, for us remembering the wholeness and the fulfillment of the mother's plan. So then you are taking that ruby, and this is the reconstruction, and you are polishing it, you are talking to it, and you are connecting to it. You are loving it until it gleams in the sun and the moonlight. That's the father and the mother. The mother's connected to the moon, like one of the brightest rainbow ships in the sky. So begin, if you are ready, with self-worth. If you can jump to the gratitude for everything, you're there. Easier said than done. It's taken me many, many years to get to the gratitude. And they would welcome that, but it's not usually the way that it is. But if you can do that, be in the gratitude, wow, that's a very fast way to love, feeling the love. So then he goes, let us use another example. If you are working, for example, with the people of Syria. So this was when there was a lot of war in Syria back in 2013, and there was a lot of different countries involved in Syria. But he's saying there is a purity of heart and purpose in the sacred place, but there is a lot of sludge. Not everyone is ready to jump. All the layers of war, of abuse, have need to be moved away gently, lovingly. Before that ruby of the beauty of Syria can emerge. So do not simply use it for yourself. Use it for many of your global situations as well. This is what we did in the creation of Venus. So back a long, long, long time ago, Venus went through all of this too, in a slightly different way. Lots of planets have. It's just that we're doing it in physicality. So when Venus ascended, they all went into sheer light, just like Halion went to sheer light. We're doing it, and we're going to retain this physical form. So it's like having mini death experiences, remembering the love, and just letting the layers of war, lifetimes of abuse, gently, lovingly dissolving, basically, in forgiveness and gratitude for them. Gratitude that we're here right now, and we have these understandings. So then this is a question from David. Sanakamara, is our goal here in duality and separation to unite and unify ourselves back to the oneness from where we have come? And SK says, Raj says, yes, but through all the laws. And that is why we go through them one by one, because there are some laws that are more effective to use, but they are always used as a body of codification. But I wish my beloved friend to correct you. You are not in duality and polarity. You do not live there anymore. So we're coming, the way that the duality and polarity was explained to me was the dichotomy of them is no longer needed. We're coming into the middle, into the balance. So when you look at positive and negative, you're looking at it with gratitude, basically. If it's negative, you're being gratitude for the negative. You're being gratitude for the positive. And then that brings us into the middle so that we're not out on the skinny branches on the roller coaster ride anymore of negative and positive. We're right in the middle, in the compassion, in the non-judgment of everything, in the forgiveness, in the divine qualities, in the flow of love. Easier said than done, but very, very possible, especially when you've got the laws anchored into your physical form, into the bone structure, and we're working with the divine qualities all the time, breathing them, remembering them. Yeah. And here how he says body of codification. So this is the mother and the father anchored into the physical form. They're always used as a body of knowledge, basically. Because one is like the divine qualities. There's one in the other. There's joy and peace and truth and love and everything. So it's the same with the laws. Yeah. Okay. Then he says, so do not say, okay, so now he's talking about this, the duality and the polarity. He says, do not say, he says, that is like saying you still live in the house where you were born. You do not. I don't live in my house in North Vancouver anymore. I don't live there. I don't think, did any of us live in our original houses? No, we don't live there. So we don't live in the old system anymore. So let it go, declare yourself. You live in a reality, a unified field. You live in a reality where you are reclaiming the fullness of your being as a creator. And see how it's golden? Creator, think gratitude. I am being in gratitude for everything. The whole journey, the good, the bad, the ugly. Grateful for it. The old needs to become a dim memory. So allow it to be not erased, because we want you to remember so you don't revert. He said this many times. We don't want you to forget where you've been, because we don't want to recreate it. We want to be creating peace, remembering when we were not at peace. But do not declare yourself, my friend, as living there. You do not. So think of ourselves as creator race. Create gratitude and love, basically. What was it that Archangel Raphael said? Healing and creation. There's no difference between healing, the green, and creation. Creation is healing, healing is creation. Those two colors, the gold and the green, are almost like one, and then the blue is the peace. Okay, so we've done our 40 minutes. That was quite a bit of information. So Leon, you probably need to get going, right?
Yes, I do. So I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Have a nice weekend, everyone.
Okay, thank you. So does everyone else want to send out that we live in a reality of unified field for 10 minutes, or transmutation and dissipation, or being in gratitude? Whatever you take away from this. Steve, what did you take away from this one?
From which one, Kathleen? From
This whole little last 40 minutes.
Well, I took away from it confirmation of the way this works. I mean, I mentioned what happened today, right?
Yes.
So I've been listening to this through that filter, and so it's helped me to understand how to transmute my own negativity.
Yes, exactly. And that's the most important.
Yeah.
I would say the individual is the most important. Not to worry about what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if we're really concerned about it, it usually brings it right back to something that's happening in us. It's just a bigger metaphor of what's going on inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yep.
Yes. All right. So everybody ready to send for 10 minutes? Yeah. All right, let's do it. I will set the timer. You can put yourselves on mute. Okay. See everybody in 10. There we go. That was 10 minutes. That went really fast. I was getting what more I need to be in gratitude for was it's like, oh, right. I have been holding that in resentment still. It was good. Yes. Anybody want to share anything?
I spent most of the time bringing myself back to consciousness
Good.
because my mind was drifting. And every time I realized that, then I'd bring myself back into the consciousness.
Excellent. Good job. Yeah. So that's what we need to do like all day long. Easier said than done, but once like, and then remember Saint Bernadette said that if you're like, if it's really unconscious, you can apologize to yourself too. To laugh and apologize. Yeah. I just gotta answer this 1 sec. There, did it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so I say that in the reading room a lot. If you find that you're falling into resentment, like what you did the other day, Steve, when you found yourself resenting somebody, it's like, oh, there I go again. And I'm so sorry to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We mentioned that you could change your thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
I found that hung me up for years, right? Because I wouldn't do anything until I had another thought to change it to, right? And then just one day I discovered I could just stop,
Mm-hmm.
just drop the thought.
Yeah.
I didn't have to have something to change it to. I could just, oh,
Yeah.
that would be really,
Yeah, why not love, Steve?
what, change it to love?
Yeah.
Well, if you can, if that works for you, sure, go for it. It wasn't working for me, but it may work for you. Yes, sure.
Yeah, that works pretty good for me.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's interesting how yeah, all kinds of different systems work for everybody.
Oh yeah, different for different people, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I found the apology quite effective. But then I've been working with forgiveness for years, so yeah, laughing. Oh, there I go again. But and she said to apologize to self and then to anyone we've harmed in any lifetime, and then out to the universe too. So then that's really anchoring it in. I found that pretty effective. And then after a while, it doesn't happen anymore. It's like we do it for a certain amount of time, and then it, as Steve said, it just stops. It's like you've brought yourself into the middle where you're quiet, there's peace.
Where the ego and the mind is quiet, so that the self can be felt, experienced, etc.
Yeah, in its divine state.
Yes.
In its divinity. I think that's why we're practicing the divine qualities so much, because it helps us remember that. It helps the self to emerge, the divinity to emerge. And it doesn't need to be all heavy and like serious. It can be a talking fish too. Did you get to watch that video yet, Steve?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Does anyone want to see the talking fish video? Do you want me to send that one too?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, it's very short. It's only a couple of minutes. I told it to my mother. She laughed because, I mean, here's a woman that's really quite bent over. She's got a hump. She can't speak properly because she's had the stroke. And she was laughing, and then she was practicing breathing. Like, I mean, it had a big effect on her. So it's a good one. I love when they're so simple. Where's the water? Where's the water? I can't find the water. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Yeah, that's just like people looking for God, eh? Can't find it, can't find it.
Fine.
Hiding right inside.
Yeah, it's inside, it's without, it's everywhere. She, he, she. The oneness. Mhm. Okay, so we've still got, I think we're gonna do one more on Wednesday, but I'll bring in reminders of the 8th dimension and a little bit of prudence again too, and just an overview of this law, and then we'll move on to up to the Lurion.
I just wanted to say that I am so grateful for this recording because you pretty much encapsulated everything that we're learning in this one video. I just think that it's there, and I'll have something to refer to when I need to know something.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Thank you. Yes. Okay. And we'll do it again like this on Wednesday. I'm gonna try and make them simpler and simpler. Because sometimes in the channelings, it's quite involved in the wording and so it's nice to break it down. Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you.
Yep, see you Monday.
Okay. You all.
Happy Women's Day.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank you
Women's
so
Day.
much.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.